All right, everyone, we are here with a very, very special guest, one of our favorites, Maura Higgins, the newest social ambassador for Love Island USA on Peacock, and obviously one of our favorite reality TV show stars of all time. Thank you for joining us, Maura.
Oh, hi. Thanks for having me.
We're super excited. Like Rhea said, this was when this was offered, it was like could not have said yes fast enough. We love Love
Oh,
Island. We love UK. We love USA. I clock a lot of Love Island hours. I also watch Australia. I'm all across the board. So I'm spending a lot of my days watching Love Island, but
I mean,
having to
it's
jump
easy
into it,
TV, isn't it?
it is. It's the easiest
Yeah.
TV to watch.
Yeah.
Having you jump onto the Love Island USA side is really cool for us because I think it also now introduces you to a whole new group of people also who may not have watched the UK version, who don't watch it, and now
Yeah.
they get to see you do this. So what was that initial connection like? How'd you get involved with doing USA?
Do you know what? The conversation started a few months back. And we had like a lot of conversations, and they were exciting conversations, and we spoke about a lot of things. And you know what? I really get on with the whole team. I really love the USA. Like, I've always wanted to do something in America. And Love Island just fits for me, doesn't it? Like, I've done the show. I can relate to every single contestant. So I think this role for me is like, it just suits, you know? And like, do you know what, being back in the villa, it was so surreal. Like, it was crazy because I had never stepped foot back into a villa since I did the show, which was like 4 years ago. So that was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And to just like, I'm going to be interviewing the Exit Islanders, and like, it's nice because we have that bond. Like, we understand each other. Every single person that has done Love Island understand each other because, like, to outside viewers, they see something, but like when you're in there, it's a completely different experience. It's like so intense, like emotions are so high. So I think it's nice for, when these islanders leave the villa, that they have that bit of comfort, you know?
Yeah, I think, like you said, this is the perfect role for you as people who love Love Island. Like we said, it's a perfect fit. And we also love Love Island US. I think everyone was very excited when it came to the US. I think people are loving it on Peacock. And, we're only a couple episodes in, but we're very excited to watch it unfold. You mentioned that this was the first time that you were stepping foot back into a villa. We did hear rumors a couple months ago where people are like, oh my God, there's going to be a Love Island All-Star where it's US, it's UK, it's Australia, all these people in it together. Would you ever go back into the villa as a contestant? Now that you are in this sort of hosting role, you kind of have a little bit of power to you. Would you step back into the contestant role?
I definitely wouldn't. I was asked to do the UK version of like an All Stars, and I didn't even have to think about it. It was just a straight up no. It's not for me. I had my time, and it's just like, I just can't see myself ever going back, I rather like go into more like presenting side of things, like the hosting side of things. And yeah, I like to do something that I've never done before. I like a bit of a challenge. So yeah, just not for
Right.
me.
And I feel like you had such an iconic run on that season. Whenever somebody asks, which season of Love Island do I start? I think people say season 5 automatically. That's the go-to. And you almost want to like leave as a loved character. Because if you go back on, who knows what's to happen?
You just don't know. Like, going into a show like that, you don't know what to expect. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going on in the outside world. We don't get told anything. So you really don't know what people's perception of you is. Like, yeah, and do you know what as well? Like, I'm older now. Like, I'm 32. I turned 33 the end of the year. It's like, I'm a bit long in the tooth to be going back into a dating show,
I
Well,
don't
I
think
think
we would agree with that, but
Yes.
Oh,
I know. It's as a viewer, it's sad, but also
Yeah.
completely understandable at the same time. And the presenter host role is, I think, such a good spot for you. Like you just have the best voice. Like you have the everybody loves your accent. Like I don't know why, especially like Americans, like it's just I could listen to you talk all the time, so I love it. I think it's great. So seeing you do all these interviews and everything for now US is really cool. And you're in Fiji, which is insane.
I mean, what a dream job, really. Like, I'm in the most beautiful place. Like, and, you know, working on Love Island, like, it just, because I know so much about the show, I've experienced it. It doesn't really feel like work because I'm enjoying it so much. Like, it's crazy. It's just like the dream for me.
Yeah. And you get to wake up in Fiji. It's beautiful there. And you mentioned
I wake up, I open my back doors, I can hear the birds singing. I'm like, oh my God, this is my life.
Yeah. You're not going to want to go home after.
No, probably not.
You mentioned how when you're in the villa, you don't know anything that's happening on the outside. And we've talked to other contestants before where we're like, you can't listen to music, you can't watch TV. Are any of the contestants on USA trying to get any information out of you? Like if they catch you or they're like, hey, tell me this.
You know what? I've not experienced it, but I know Ariana was in the other day and she did tell me that they were trying to get some information from her. So yeah, I don't think she gave away anything, but I think they were like asking like, oh my God, what episode are we on? And, you know, just trying to get little bits of information. But like, I can relate to that because when I was in the show, and, you know, anyone came in or out, like the host, anything, we were always trying to get information. Or a new bombshell comes in, we'd always be asking questions, what's going on outside? Like, we wanted to know everything because, you know, you're in there for so long and you don't get told anything. You don't know what's going on the outside.
Yeah,
so try your luck.
That is insane to just wake up every single day and in a beautiful place, but at some point, you got to go a little crazy being like, I have no idea what day it is.
No, like I found it quite nice. Like I know a lot of people struggle without their phones and stuff, but I'm not really a girl. Like you know what? When I meet people, they're always very shocked by me that I'm not one of these girls to sit there on my phone, like flicking through Instagram. Like everyone mentions it to me. All the people I meet, they're like, I'm really shocked by you. I thought like you'd be like phone on your hand 24/7, scrolling. And I'm like, absolutely not. That is not me. I'm never on my phone. I prefer to like be present. So I actually didn't mind being away from my phone. Like, but I remember there was quite a few of them like, oh my God, I just miss my phone. I just want to go on social media, like blah, blah, blah. But it didn't bother me. I actually liked not having my phone.
Sometimes that's really nice to just like get away from that because you remember when you were a kid and you didn't have a phone and you just lived life and you were present in every moment.
Yeah, it's so nice. Like, I mean, I think we all should probably take a break from our phone now and again. It's good for the mind. You know?
Absolutely.
It definitely is. So we have seen the teaser for Ariana that's been posted on all the USA social and whatnot. So we're super excited to see that. But I'd love to know like what you know about her.
You know what? I'm going to be completely honest. I have never watched the show.
Yeah.
And I never even heard of it. But then when I was speaking to some of my friends that seen a little clip that Love Island posted of me and Ariana, they were like, oh my God, you met Ariana. And they were like screaming. And I was like, yeah, I literally interviewed her yesterday. And they were like, what? No. And I was like, I need to know about this show. And I really need to watch. I was told I need to watch this reunion where she went off.
You have to.
So I was told obviously about the situation that went down. And I just can't believe it. What a strong woman. And to go through that, I can't even imagine. But I heard it's great TV and that's my kind of TV. So I really need to catch up on that.
Listen,
you know what? I met her and she is super, super nice, super, super humble. Like I could sense how humble she was. And yeah, we just clicked straight away. I told her, oh, next time I'm in America, we're meeting up. And yeah, that definitely has to happen. She's a lovely, sweet girl.
We love to hear that.
That's an amazing crossover.
Yeah. I know there was people on Instagram like going wild about it. Oh my God, Maura and Ariana together. This is wild. And I was like, oh wow.
Yeah, it's two of people's favorites. And like you're saying, if that's the kind of TV you like, then Vanderpump Rules is perfect for you.
Yeah. Yeah, there was people putting up, I seen a few things on Instagram last night and it was like, petition to get Maura on Vanderpumps. And I was like, oh my God, I don't even know what the show is, but okay.
Yeah, feel like that's just too, it's especially for us Americans that watch Love Island UK, it's like two separate universes of like the Bravo TV and like the Love Island universe. And there's just never been any overlap. And like this is bringing in all that overlap, which is great. And it's, that's why I think everybody's so excited.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think like it's great that Love Island USA are bringing people in. Like I feel like they're really changing things up. And again, as you said, like the show hasn't been on that long. It's only been on a fair few days. Yeah. And like there's so much happening. Like there's so much happening on week one. It's like, oh my God, I can't even keep up. It's like, bombshells, dumpings. It's like it's all happening. And everything that happened with Bergie. Like he was dumped and I was literally nearly crying because I am so rooting for Bergie. I absolutely love him. And then him getting that message and then sent off to the hideaway with two sexy bombshells. I was really love to see it. Like I'm so rooting for him. And if he doesn't find love in the Love Island villa, I am going to hunt for a woman just for Bergie. I'm going to do it.
He would be so happy because he just, any sense of any of the girls liking him, it feels like he kind of freaks out a little bit. But I've seen some people on social talking about kind of like the differences because it's different, different cultures. And it feels like a lot of times the USA cast jumps head first in, right? Like, I think it was either episode 3 or 4. I forget which couple. It might have been KK. I'm not sure, but somebody they were talking about, are you closed off yet? And I think all the viewers were like, oh my, what are we doing? It's day 3. Like, relax.
Yeah. Was it Keenan and KK or something?
I think it might have been them where they were like, and I just feel like, sometimes the UK people kind of are more open to it, but everybody wants to be really coupled up fast, it seems like this season.
Yeah. Do you know what? It is really crazy though when you're in there. Like emotions are so high. I can't even stress that enough. Like emotions are so high, and like honestly, one day in there feels like a week. Like it's crazy different. And it's like even me as a viewer, like sometimes I'm watching it, and someone gets upset and it might look like a petty thing to cry over. As a viewer, I can watch it and go, oh my God, what's she crying for? Come on, like pull yourself together. But then I have to think, okay, I was in there and I know that like there's obviously a lot more happening. Like we get to see an hour or an hour and a half of 24 hours in a day. So like there's a lot we don't see. And when emotions are that high, like, every little tiny thing can really get in on you.
Mm-hmm. That makes a ton of sense. And what was it like for you watching after you were on the show? Like, what did you have to look at it in just a different light?
Yeah, it's crazy. Like it is crazy, but I can still sit there as a viewer and like really enjoy it and like scream at the TV. Oh my God, what are you doing? You need to go crazy at him. Don't let him walk all over you. But then when I really sit there, I'm like, oh, well, you know what? There's probably lots more happening. But like, I do like to just watch it as a viewer,
Yeah.
And not think of everything else that goes on.
Of course.
Yeah, you have to still, because it keeps you have to keep the magic of the show a little.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Right. And I think there's a lot of people out there that think Love Island is scripted. Like I always see it online and I'm like, oh my God, where are they getting this from? Like Love Island is not scripted. If Love Island was scripted, all of these contestants must be really good actors and actresses because how? Like it's not. Like everything is so real. Mm-hmm. Like obviously challenges and stuff like, there is like a helping hand to like make sure things run smoothly with stuff like that, but it is real. It couldn't be more real.
Right. I think Love Island is like you watch reality shows all the time and you're like, all right, that was planted. I've never thought that about Love Island. Like, I feel like Love Island is as real as it gets because you just remind yourself all the time that they're being taped 24/7 every single day.
Yeah.
I feel like there's times when you can feel like, okay, this person gets to come back, or like this, we're so like behind the scenes, people know who makes good TV, but then they make the good TV themselves. Like, it's up to them to be put back in front of the camera.
What to do. Nobody's going to force you to do anything you don't want to do. Nobody's going to force you to kiss a guy you don't want to kiss, speak to someone you don't want to speak to. Like, it couldn't be more real. Like, you do what you want in there,
Yeah, we just saw the first kind of like big dumping that happens for the show, and sadly Jasmine went home, which was sad because I really liked her and I wish she got more of a chance.
I'm being deadly serious. I really thought that Harrison was going to pick Destiny.
So did I. I was confused.
Like, I literally was like, oh my God, okay. Like, in my head I was thinking, oh, Destiny's gone. Like, I was shocked. I couldn't believe it.
I know they're both stunning, but I feel like we saw more of his conversation with Jasmine and that they maybe had more chemistry. I don't know. I think Harrison got a little scared because everybody was talking about her. Like, I don't know how she got the crazy girl. Like, I don't know how that even happened, but all of a sudden they were all talking about her like she was a crazy girl. And it was like, why did they just decide? I don't get where this label came from.
Absolutely nothing wrong with, a crazy girl, a crazy personality. I actually think it's amazing because do you know what? The guy is never going to get bored. Mm-hmm. That's the way I look at it.
So true.
And I met her, and we had a little chat before our interview, and our interview was so nice. And honestly, like, she was such a sweet girl, like so sweet. Like, I'm actually sad to see her go.
Yeah, and it was one of the first times we've also seen, like, of course she didn't make a love connection, but she did make that friendship connection, which I know you talked to her about too. It's kind of like an underrated part of Love Island. It's like, yes, you are. Love is in so many forms, and you leave with some really great friends. And it really only seemed like a week, and that she had made such a good friend in Anna. And Anna was so upset about her leaving.
Oh, she was. I really love Anna. Her facial expressions are the best, the absolute best. I definitely would get on with her if I was in there. So I can really understand why her and Jasmine had such a close friendship. And I think a lot of people are going to miss seeing their friendship on screen,
What's the female friendship like when you get off the show, like with the people that you were on the show with? How do you kind of maintain those friendships outside of Love Island?
I feel like you blossom even more when you come out because you get to do the things, like going out for dinners, and it's amazing. Like, it's one of the best things for me, like coming out with a real, true, genuine friendship. Like, that's all I could have asked for, And it's a friend for life. You literally go into the villa, you spend a few months there, and then you literally meet some incredible people. Like, that's like the best part of it. I know you're in there to find love, but friendships are so important.
Yeah. And you have a special bond that not everybody can relate to.
Yeah, exactly. Because you experience something so intense together,
Mm-hmm. Now, bringing you back to your season of Love Island a little bit, what does it feel like, right, when you get to the end and everyone's coupled up and it gets more serious and, you do the vows and you do the whole thing? Is there sort of a pressure when the show ends to stay in that couple? Because I feel like as a viewer, people get so attached to these couples, but then you have to remember that they were in a villa separated from the world, and then they're thrown into real life. And of course, we just saw Molly-Mae and Tommy. They're engaged. They have a beautiful baby. It's such a beautiful love story. And then you see the couples that break up within 2 weeks. What's it like when you get out of the villa and you're like, all right, now what do we do?
I feel like there's always this misconception, like, people think, oh my God, they have to stay together. They're just staying together because blah, blah, blah. Like, honestly, when you come out of the villa and you're in an enclosed space with these people for X amount of months, whatever. When you come out, it is so different. Like, and there is relationships, there is people in happy couples, like from Love Island. Mm-hmm. But like, at the end of the day, like, not everyone's gonna click and be compatible. When you get out to the real world, it is harder. Like, I know for me anyway, I was a bit like, when I came out, I was like, oh, like, this actually isn't something that I would go for if I wasn't in Love Island. Like, and you come to a bit of a realization. And I mean, even for me, like, the guy that I left with, I even broke up with him on a phone call because I was just like, this just isn't it. Like, I didn't even do it to his face. I was just like, yeah, no, not for me. And you know what? I didn't have this like, oh my God, what's everyone going to say about it? What's everyone's opinions? Because I mean, lucky for me, I don't really care what people think. So if people had a problem with it, I mean, it's irrelevant because I need to do what makes me happy. And I think every single person that comes out of Love Island needs to think the same. Like, don't think, oh my God, like, if we break up this soon, like, is everyone going to have an opinion on it? Because, people do get very invested in your relationship because they've been watching you together for, X amount of weeks. But it is very different when you come out. It's very, very different.
Yeah, I think you have the best attitude about it because I think you're right. You have to do what makes you happy because at the end of the day, if you stay in a couple, whether it's Love Island, real life, whatever, where you're not happy, you're just going to be miserable. You can't let all. They're going to be upset for what? A minute when they scroll past on Instagram and see the news, and then it's not their life.
Small.
Yeah, it's not their life. They don't have to live with that person, so they're going to forget about it eventually.
Yeah. And you know what, as well, when you come out, you're so busy as well. And, I feel like if you really want to make it work, you'll make it work with that right person, if you want to. But then if like work kind of takes over and, you kind of don't make that time for one another, well, it's clearly not really meant to be anyway. So what's the point in wasting your time and my time? Let's just move along so we can actually find the right person.
Yeah.
Did you have any idea that the Molly-Mae and Tommy engagement was coming, or were you as surprised as the rest of us when they posted their big video?
So I got told before she posted, obviously. Yeah. But I mean, we all knew he was going to do it soon. I mean, it was only like a few weeks ago when I was on the phone to them and I was like, Tommy, you need to propose. Where's this ring? And I was just like ranting down the phone at him. And now it's happened. And honestly, he smashed it out of the park. Like, it looked just so incredible. She just looked so happy. I'm so happy for them. Honestly, they are a match made in heaven. Like, he's literally the female version of him and vice versa. Like, they're like the same person. And yeah, I'm just so fucking happy for them.
Yeah. I love it.
We are too. It's so exciting.
And I think like your friendship with Molly-Mae was something beautiful that came out of Love Island as well, because, everyone talks about the beginning and, it was like, oh, you had your eyes on Tommy. And I think it's just great to see two women be like, all right, didn't move on. We were on a show and now we just have this great friendship together.
It's crazy. Like, if we were all on a show now, people would never even bring that up now because like, I look at Tommy like a brother and he looks at me like a sister. Like, there is, you just can't even think about it. Even like when you see a comment about it, it's like, ooh, it's like
right.
icky because it's like brother-sister relationship now.
Right. And that was such a small thing on the show. Like, it was like an episode.
Yeah, literally. It wasn't that deep.
No.
But I can get that people, get very invested and, everyone's entitled to their opinions, but like, we have such a good friendship and that's literally all it is. And yeah, I'm just so incredibly happy for them.
I love it.
And I can't wait for the big day.
Gonna be, I can only imagine it's gonna be
honestly, it will be the most perfect, beautiful wedding of all time, and I just can't wait.
It definitely will be. So everyone's tuning into Love Island USA. UK is winding down as well. I know your friend Leah was on it this season. How did you think she did? And just because I know like there's only this is like the last week, is there any couple on UK that this season that you're rooting for that you were watching?
Well, I've not actually got to watch it.
Okay.
I watched a bit, like I watched a bit of it before I flew out here. But my work before I flew out was like quite crammed together. So I was like missing episodes here and there. And I was like getting stressed because I was like, oh my God, like I'm not getting to see Leah. And I was like keeping up on the social media stuff. Guys, honestly, I have no clue what's happening in the UK one. Like I am so invested in the USA one now that I can't put my focus anywhere else. Like my focus is
I will say it's hard to watch. It's hard to watch at the same time. So it's nice that it's kind of like we're peeling. Yeah, we're peeling into US. And I want to know what you thought about Carmen's move to kiss Bergie in that challenge, because Victor seems like a man, like, I don't know, at first Victor was really pulling like I got sisters raised by women, like, and then this, I don't know, I don't like the attitude change he's having.
I know. I don't know. Well, maybe we'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So.
I mean, I like to think that he's just gonna like have a bit of a rethink. Maybe he needs to sit by himself for a second.
I think his ego is burned, you know?
Yeah. But this is what happens. Yeah. This is what happens.
Did you think were you surprised Carmen did that in the challenge?
Yeah. Yeah. I was.
Yeah. I feel like Victor's not one that's used to not getting attention. And since none of the girls picked him in the beginning, in the first coupling, and then this, I feel like it's probably piling up a little bit for him.
Maybe I don't like it. I just don't like it.
Yeah.
But I mean, hopefully he'll have a reality check.
Yeah. Is there one couple that you're rooting for a little bit more than the rest right now? I know it's still very early days.
It's so early and things change so quickly on Love Island. I really, really like KK and Keenan because, you know, from the beginning, they obviously just clicked. I was a bit worried, obviously, when Keenan and Cassie were having that little flirty conversation. But yeah, I'm rooting for them. It'd be just so nice, like, you know, at the very beginning they just connected and like it'd be so nice to see them get to the final and just to see their relationship grow. But then again, it's Love Island and you just don't know what's around the corner.
Yeah, definitely. It's that's what makes the show so great. And the bombshells, like Harrison, great bombshell. I'm excited to see who else they bring in. I do also love that USA sprinkles in different characters, you know, get people from different places. He's Australian. You got Victor. Like you mix it up a little bit, which I love.
Yeah.
I think it's a great way to do it. But yeah, the show, I mean, you have gotten so many amazing opportunities post the show. So I love that this is like the direction that you're going in and you're not looking back at being a contestant on the show. But I think so many people are also so interested after you go on a dating show and then everybody in the world is so invested in your dating life. And then you go back to real life and you go back to real life dating and people are still super invested. How do you deal with that?
You know what? Like, it's so crazy because I'm more like private with my dating life. And it's crazy because I came from a show where it was obviously on TV and you couldn't really hide from it. But I don't know, like, I suppose like people are still going to get invested and that's absolutely fine. But I'm more like now, I suppose, because let's be real, I've had some failed relationships in the past. We're not going to deny it. Like, I'm saying it straight out. But I think now I'm more like, I think just keep it for myself until I really feel ready.
Yeah.
You know, I've had relationships in the past where I was pressured into like, you know, announcing it on social media. And I look back now and I'm like, why did I why did I allow that pressure?
Mhm.
Like, that's really, my social media is my social media. It's not anyone else's.
Right.
Like, I should post what I want to post. And it's bizarre that I was even doing that, because I'm such a strong woman, and I'm like, no, I do me. I don't really care. But yeah, I think now I'm definitely like, I'm going to do it in my own time.
Yeah. I think that's the best. I think
It's a
that's
good
the best
idea.
way to do it.
Yeah.
Because like I said, everybody, it's crazy how of course, everybody, like you said, it's been 4 years since your season, but everybody is still
Right.
locked in, and we're locked into everything that you're doing. Love Island USA is such a perfect fit for you. I can't wait to see your sit down with Ariana now. Like, if you're
Very
talking to her,
excited.
it's just like, it's so great. So happy that you're a part of it. And everyone can watch Love Island USA on Peacock Thursdays to Tuesdays. The new episodes are on at 9:00 Eastern. Get the app, play along. That's like the most fun part too. I think because, you know, we watch all the other countries, and because we're in the US, I like forget that we can interact, and we are a part of Love Island USA.
It feels like a game.
Yes.
It is. It's so fun. So yeah, everyone needs to tune in. Honestly, it is a really good season, and we've only just started.
Agreed. I love that the drama is already kicking off, which is great. That's always the sign of a good
What we
season.
love to see.
Exactly. So, Maura, thank you so much for talking to us. Everyone, like I said, make sure you're watching Love Island USA. You are the best.
Yes, thank you so much. We were so excited about this.
Thank you so much.